Hi, I'm Mike Hamilton. I'm over here at Lithia Toyota, Redding, California. And behind me, I'm going to feature a 2021 Toyota 4Runner TRD Pro in Lunar Rock. I'll be right back. Let's go over this. I'm going to give you the most in-depth review I've done on any vehicle so far since I've started my channel. So I'm going to go over all this as the lights just turned off on this. But let's get over and go on and show you everything that this vehicle has to offer and things you may or may not know. So we're going to come up to the front here. We have our honeycomb grill here, and only the Pro gets the Toyota that comes across. The rest will get the badging, get that honeycomb grill. Underneath here is our radar systems here for the Toyota safety sense for the adaptive cruise control and smart stop. Toyota upgraded the lights to LED headlights and fog lights and high beams, so that's something that's new for since they started in 2020. This is what's called Lunar Rock, which is the hottest color out. You can only get this model year in the TRD Pro. This hood scoop is faux, so it doesn't actually take in air, but you could take that off if you ever did any type of supercharger. I know a couple of people on older ones have done superchargers. I've never seen it done on a new one. Coming up to the top, we have the rest of our Toyota safety sense there with the camera systems in there that see the lines in the road for lane departure and pedestrian detection, and cyclist detection and detecting cars for smart stop. And up on top, this one does come with a moonroof sunroof. Coming into the engine bay, there's nothing much to look at here because there's a lot of plastic covering up the engine, but this is a V6 engine. It's the 4.0 engines, which I like better than the 3.5. It makes its torque at a much lower RPM than the new 3.5 that you see in the Tacoma. The hood here is on hood struts, so it's strut assisted, so you could just let go and it's going to climb up. Here, fluids are in clear, easy to identify. We got our brake fluid there. We got our coolant overflows, window washer fluid, our dipsticks in bright yellow, and then they put a plastic shroud over the engine. We got our air intake right here. Very simple stuff. Our battery's right up front, so if we ever need to replace that or jump it, it's just really easy to get to. Toyota provides a very nice tire on here. This is a Nitto Grappler tire that's got sidewall bite on it, and these all these 4Runners in this TRD Pro have Fox charged gas shocks behind there on all four wheels, and then you get your special TRD Pro wheel with the TRD badge in the middle. And coming up to the top, we got our color coded mirrors here. They do not come with blind spot monitors on them. They do wind vortex generators like they do on everything to help clean up the air and make the air much cleaner, so you have a little better aerodynamics, a little better steering, and makes the drive a little bit nicer. This is a smart key. Smart key looks like this. So if I want to lock this car, all I need to do is come up to these two notches right here, put my fingers on the two notch, and it locks that easy. Unlocking is just put my hand on the door and pull on the handle. So that's both front doors. This is dual power seats. We have a 6-way power on this side, and the other side is going to be 10-way with power lumbar support along with it. You get your floor mats with your 4Runner TRD Pro embroidery involved in it. You get the soft touch materials on the doors here with the red stitching to kind of tie everything in. I love the materials they use. This is still a little hard up here. It's still a little utilitarian. I'll be going over that stuff when we get inside. TRD in the headrest there, so you know you're in a TRD Pro. Let's go to the down the side here, and you start seeing your black badge TRD Pro there. And this is the roof rack that you're going to see on a TRD Pro. I believe they are doing that for the Trail Edition too, which is basically a dressed up SR5. And then we have a TRD exhaust tip on this one here also. And see if we could get a little bit of a view of that gas charge Fox shocks in there. So there we go. It's kind of hidden up in there, but there we are with our gas charge Fox shocks. And then that's all the way around on this. Our second wind vortex generator here. And then we have LED tail lights too. We come to the back of the vehicle. We have our black badging again, 4Runner, and then our Toyota logos in black. Our TRD Pro again. LED tail lights and brake lights are on this here. Again, this is our roof rack, and behind there's our shark fin for our Sirius XM radio and Apple CarPlay. Toyota Connected Services are all part of that. This window completely rolls down. I will go over that once I'm inside. Any TRD 4Runner only is a 2-row. You will not find a 3-row TRD. They don't make them in this trim package. You need to go to an SR5, SR5 Premium or Limited, are the 3 rows that are optional in those vehicles. We have 400 watt AC power. There's a couple accessories like a first aid kit. And it comes with the also a set of carpeted mats too that are also embroidered in TRD Pro here too. Tire is underneath this vehicle. They tuck it up for the departure angle, so it's tucked up pretty deep in there, so it has a really good approach, breakover, and departure angles, the best that Toyota builds. They put this nice plastic protector on here so you don't scratch things up when you're taking things in and out. Again, this is a manual umbrella lift gate. It's tall enough. I'm 6'2", and I fit under this with plenty of room. Probably 6'6" would fit under this pretty easily. Somebody that's shorter, there's a draw cord to pull on this to close it. Very simple, strut assisted, and your backup camera is right here. So all that's available in this vehicle. Coming to the driver's side here, we have our fuel door on the driver's side. There's no manual release inside. I think it's about 21 gallons if I remember. Back seat here is the these things fold up and fold down, so you can pull this up and then pull these down here, and then that makes this somewhat flat. A lot of people like camping in this vehicle instead of doing like roof rack tents or towing something. And we got a armrest in the center here for passengers, as long as there's no one in the middle row. No air controls in this for the back row. They do get their own air vents though. Cup holders here. Armrest is here. This is the synthetic Softex leather. Toyota's giving you both pockets on both sides to store things in here. Again, also there's another couple places to hold waters and things like that in there for good bottles and other things like that. Well, there's usually good enough room in here. I'm gonna get in here. I'm 6'2" again, and I have that seat way back for me, and still even so, still got an inch or two of leg room in here. Let's get a better view of that front there. It's pretty good size. We got a lot of space and it's well laid out. We'll get into that pretty soon. And then we got our moonroof and sunroof, of course, in here too. All right, coming into the driver's side. Typical stuff we're going to find again. We got this soft touch material. We have places for storage and a couple bottles there. We got power windows, power mirrors, power locks, lockout for the child so they don't keep opening the windows when you don't want them to do that. Going to the dash here, this is where our power mirrors is. This is our gauge dimmer. Here we have an auto dimming high beam there, so you push that on and you have your high beams on. It sees headlights come at it, it will dim to low beams on its own. If you get too close to tail lights, it does the same. We have heated windshield wipers for ice and snow. Nice feature. And then this is where you turn on that 400 watt power inverter. That power inverter only works when the vehicle's operating, when it's running. Let's take a look at the seats again. This is the same synthetic Softex material. It is pretty nice and looks fairly natural. It's much more durable than natural leathers. I know there's complaining people want natural leather, but this stuff's much more durable. It doesn't break down and get cracked, doesn't stain as easy. It doesn't get as hot. It stays about 10 degrees cooler than regular natural leathers do too. So that's something. Then you got your 10-way power adjustable seat for your driver with power lumbar support in here. Since this is a proximity or smart key, it's push start, push the foot on the brake, push the start button. Very simple. Turn down that air so it doesn't get all in the mic. And then we have pretty much a traditional, the old with the new here with the gauge cluster. We have our analog tachometer and speedometer. And then you have your fuel gauge and your temperature gauge is analog too. And then you have a bunch of other stuff. So you got your outside temperature there. You have, and then we can start scrolling down here for the driver's information center with the toggle switch is this button here that I'm controlling this. So it gives us our average fuel consumption, which has none, has 6 miles on it. We have our miles to empty. This will get a full tank of gas for the new owner. Then you have here, we have our eco score. So trying to stay in that eco range. Toyota has that just about on everything. So keeping that in the green will give you your best fuel economy. And we have a digital miles per hour. If you don't like your analog, it's sitting right there. Sway warning, if you were swaying too much, it's going to tell you to take a break. And then we go to the next screen over here. Tire temperatures or tire pressures are here. And then let's see if there's, and then we have steering angle here is part of this here. And then we have, next one's our compass coordinates. Not much there. Our radio information. And then we have our lane departure alert. And the adaptive cruise control. So pushing this button here, so we're going to set our cruise controls back in here, this little toggle here, and then adaptive cruise control is this button here. So those 3 bars there are for 3 seconds of pacing behind a slower vehicle. That's 2.5 and 2 seconds. It's part of this here for the adaptive cruise control. And then last one, no messages. If there was an issue with this car, it's going to tell you what's wrong with it. And then this is your lane departure and pre-collision for Toyota safety, since it's really basic on this one here. This should be something they're going to upgrade, I would imagine, in the next series, supposed to be 2024. Most of the controls for things you need to do, as far as changing your radio and answering your phone, your cruise control, all your driver's information center, all this stuff is here. This is push to talk that you'll use if you're doing Siri or the Toyota system to call somebody. You'll have your modes to change your radio stations, volumes in here. Down here is picking up and hanging up your phone. And then on this side here we have our lane departure alert, and then you have your adaptive cruise control, and this is a toggle that controls that screen I was just showing you earlier. Let's go ahead and head over to the infotainment screen. Last year in 2020, this grew from a little dinky 6-inch to a 8.1-inch screen, so at least a reasonable size, and also the definition of this screen has got much better. You still have your little basic clock up there. Emergency flashers are here. You got vents all the way across here. Coming to this infotainment screen here, you have your home screen here, which is what's known as a 3-panel. If you connect to Apple CarPlay or Android Auto, that will port into the system, and that will become your screen, and not this screen, which is a Toyota screen. So this has what's known as 3 panels. So once we have a phone connected, that's going to show here. I have it on Sirius XM 53 right now, and I'm getting a portion of our maps. This is integrated, built into the vehicle, but through those connective apps, you could use Apple or Waze and Google Maps. But this one's built in. This is no longer chip based. It has a satellite update to update this. No more chips in this here. And then getting your phone connected and all that stuff, and your apps are all in here. So I'm going to go over to audio. And then I have it on Sirius XM. This is the JBL audio, which is the better audio system for the 4Runner here. So let me turn this up and let you listen to it. sounds pretty good. And then below here we have stuff you're going to find in Toyota trucks. They love the silver knobs. That's been a thing they've done for years on end. Big knobs for your air. So this one has air here, and then you have your air temperatures on this side. Then we have our flows, real basic. It's going to tell you what we're doing. Fan speeds, fan off, AC, inside, outside air, front defroster, rear defrost, and your heated mirrors. Part of this here coming down below, we have our primary USB port. That's going to port in that Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, a regular 12 volt port there, and we should see more power in here. Yes, we have another 12 volt port in there along with the 2 USBs in the back. And then coming to down here below, we have another cup holder here. Heated seats are here, multi-stage heated seats. And then we have our gear shifter. So this is a 5-speed transmission and has a 5-speed sequential shifter here. And one of the last of the Mohicans here is the physical gear shifter. Only this and the TRD off-roads have a physical shifter to put this in four-wheel high or four-wheel low. You're going to get this TRD knob here, which is leather wrapped and embroidered with the TRD on it in this here. And then we have our window here that rolls all the way down, proprietary to it, to Toyota. No one else has this except for Toyota. So let me turn this camera around and I'll roll down this window here with that button. So you will not find another SUV that's not have a Toyota logo on it that does that. Same with it, that happens to be in the Tundras, the Sequoia, and this 4Runner. So only these 3 vehicles have that as far as I know. Alright, coming up to the top here, we have our rear view auto dimming mirror. Then we have our crawl control modes. This is the speeds here. So when you're in 4-wheel low, you could go low, medium, and there's about 5 different settings or 6 different settings for this. And then your types of terrain you're in. Are you in a rocky or a muddy terrain? And this will give you all the different terrains. And you shift that in 4-wheel low. Rear diff locker. This has A-track. It's kind of a neat way of saying what it does is it breaks the wheel while it's slipping. So if you're going through slick stuff like mud and snow, it's going to break the wheels and find traction on another. It does it so quickly, like sometimes hundreds of times per second, to keep the vehicle moving through very slippery surfaces. We have garage door memory sets here for 3 garage doors. We have our dome lights here, and we got reading lights on. That's something that I think this should upgrade pretty soon as the next gen, to have some LED lights in this would be nice. But you could get that stuff aftermarket. Very simple to change this stuff out. We have mirrors here with lighted vanity mirrors. We have actually just our extenders here. So that sun, it seems to get you that one spot there. So both the front sun visors do that. And then we have this is both a moonroof and a sunroof here. So you could lip it up like that, and then if you just want to open it up all the way, it will open up for you. And you can stop it anywhere on a track like I just did. And then it has a manual shade that shuts this here for that. So this has a very clean backup camera here, so it's easy to see what you're doing. And then wish they had some blind spot monitors in this here. I would imagine that's going to come along. Another thing this is missing versus what you get with a Tacoma Pro and the hot top end TRD off-road premium is a trail monitor. I imagine that's going to come along soon. I do like this engine over that 3.5 liter. That's going to change. They're probably going to go to when the new model comes out, to a twin turbo V6 engine. They tend to be a little more powerful and a little better fuel economy. But these things drive just like unbelievably nice. So can't take this too far. This already has been purchased by a customer. We get a good telescopic steering. We got a lot of travel here, so up and down. So that's pretty good for this one here. Nice adjustability to this here. And then Still just going to take this down the block here just to show you guys. This thing drives with this Fox chocks on this thing. This thing drives so smooth. You can hear a little bit of the exhaust with the TRD exhaust on this here, but this thing drives so nice, so smooth. Good low end power. That what makes it what's so good for off-roading is it gets its max foot pounds at a lower RPM. Just really nice, really smooth. You can't beat this. And then the resale on these things, people that buy in these things are usually making money on them, believe it or not. And that's pretty common with the 4Runners and Tacomas and even Tundras now, that they will be worth more in 3 years than you pay for them today, less your taxes and DMV fees, depending on where you live. It's pretty expensive here in Cali, but other states you might make out like a bandit, or you don't have like Oregon doesn't have a sales tax and their DMV is extremely low. You might make out on one of these things like not too bad. So definitely a lot of people buy a 4Runner in the Tacoma and the Tundras just because they have such great resale along with incredible reliability. Now they do lack a bit on the amenity side, but they make up for it in a lot of different ways, and this is it right here. I mean, they're just great trucks to drive. Again, this is body on frame, not a unibody construction, so it has the ability to tow a lot more, up to 5,000 pounds, and they do quite well. And they just drive nice. A lot of people will trade in their Wranglers because they're not as comfortable, and you take them on a long trip, you're just not happy going on a, like say if you're coming from Northern California down to Southern California, that's a long trip, and people just don't like driving them that long. It's just they get tired in those Wranglers, and so they'll trade a nice Wrangler Rubicon in to get one of these here, and so that's something I see. I don't know, they don't want to walk and get out of the way here. Dude. Let's go, Red Bull Rob. We're gonna walk out of the way, get out of the way, or what? Alright, we are back to the store. I hope that helps a lot of people. Great vehicle. You know, love this color and then everything this thing's capable of doing. It's just an amazing vehicle. So again, let's pull this in the garage. Again, I'm Mike Hamilton at Lithia Toyota Reading. What an amazing vehicle. This is the #1 resale vehicle in all North America, is the 4Runner. Such a great versatile vehicle. Right out of the box, this thing could do some heavy off-roading. You'll need to add a few things. There's also some skid plates. There's a front skid plate and a rear skid plate at the tank there. To protect it, but stuff like rock rails and a few other things, and the custom bumpers if you're really going to go off-roading would be some things I'd recommend, with a winch and other things. But boy, this thing could get going, and just right out of the box, just take it out and have fun with it. Anyways, thank you again for watching my video. Again, I'm Mike Hamilton, Lithia Toyota. We'll see you next time.